Guys, welcome back to D-Tech. Today we are going to be looking at this Jeep Cherokee, I believe. Yeah, don't even know what year. It's maybe 12 or so. I'll get all the details for you. Customer's complaint is that it shakes while driving and sitting still. So right off the bat, my mind goes to a misfire type complaint. He did say check engine light is on, but it doesn't flash. When I received it, checked it out in parking lot, drove it around the block, and just can confirm that the feeling of the shaking he's complaining about is due to a misfire. So I've got it pulled in, and just as I normally would do any misfiring car, I will start with a relative compression. That way I know whether I can stop or if I need to go further. Meaning, for those of you not too sure, relative compression checks the internal condition of the engine cylinder compression to see if all cylinders are basically the same with one another as far as creating the pressure. If one is lower than the rest, then again we can stop because we know we have internal engine mechanical damage and we might not even need to go any further based off of a customer's ability to get a expensive job like that done. So quick efficient way to find out if we have an internal engine issue. Okay, and one thing to mention, this is a Multiair engine, and I've had some experience with these before that wasn't all that great, and I know that potentially could be common to have some issues with the Multiair system. If you are not familiar with it, it's not a conventional valve train type of setup as far as actuating of the intake valves. They are controlled by solenoids that are hydraulically actuating oil to open up the intake valves and control the lift and amount of lift by duty control on the solenoids for the intake valve. And so due to the multi-air system sometimes being a common issue of failure, this is part of also why I am doing a relative compression test because of that system. The other reason, if you can tell on the coils, we've got a number 1 there, number 2, we've got 3, and that one does not have any writing. So that tells me someone has been here already chasing some sort of issue. And these are 2-wire coils. So I'm tapped into cylinder 1 for an ignition sync, and then my amp clamp is down there on the battery negative cable. And being that they are 2-wire coils, you want to make sure you use an attenuator if your scope cannot handle high voltage. So I am set up with the scope as far as choosing the correct probes. We should be good to go to start our relative compression. So I haven't disabled anything. I'm going to try to see if this has clear flood, being that it's a domestic vehicle. We'll see if it cranks. Alright, let's stop that and see what we have. It didn't sound terrible. It seems that they look pretty much even. Let's open it up some more. looks like one of them might be slightly lower than the rest. We'll see. If we go maybe somewhere around there. Let's see. So this guy here, just the same one there, seems to be slightly lower than the rest. So let's continue on. At that point, we're kind of nitpicking because some of the others do look like they could reach or not be too far off from that one. So when you start capturing and gather information like this and have something in question, instead of going down the rabbit hole, just keep that in the back of your mind that possibly, but not necessarily, there might be one that's just slightly lower. But based off the way that this runs, and I'll get you a shot of it here, it's kind of consistent miss, sort of dead miss. I don't know if this would lead us to the cause of that, meaning like dead compression. But again, you have to keep in mind we are dealing with multi-air that could maybe give us good compression, but when running with oil pressure, maybe it's not. So that's our first test. This is where we now try to find direction. And I'll get you codes to pick out which cylinders being the tattletale, and then we can go low tech and maybe swap coils for whichever cylinder it says it is, even though it looks like someone has been doing that. But actually, being that they are 2-wire coils, which if you're not familiar, 2-wire coils are ones that you can actually pick up ignition waveforms off of, and that can be a good way to see what's going on in the cylinder and how it's firing, if it's firing, and so on and so forth. So, being that we can pick up good detail with primary ignition, before I start moving coils around, let's find out which cylinder is being tattletale based on trouble code. Then we'll tap into that. We'll leave that if it's a known good, and we'll let the engine run idle. I'll get to show you how it runs in idles. At the same time, we can look at ignition waveforms. Alright guys, so we clearly see that the engine computer is pointing towards cylinder number 3. So with that bit of information, I'm going to tap in the cylinder 3 ignition coil primary, and then we'll let it idle with cylinder 1 and 3 being monitored on the scope. See this vibrating? It's from the, looks like engine misfiring. Best way for me to portray that on camera. Okay, so we clearly have an issue in our ignition trace for cylinder 3. There is no firing line at all, kind of just shorted and comes down. Number 1, let's open that up. Let's see. So let's get a better picture. So here, and my scope settings aren't the greatest for getting detailed, but we can always change that. But for now, this is the portion of our firing section, which our number 3 clearly does not have, and due to that, again, I've simply just swapped, for now, coil and plug from these two. So cylinder 3 went to 1, 1 went to 3. I'm going to start it, let it run, and see what we capture. Right away, you can tell that we have the smaller trace is on red, meaning it's not getting as high, and yeah, just kind of like shorted out and comes down. So we have an ignition problem, which our relative compression confirmed with us. We weren't most likely going to deal with mechanical compression issue. So now we'll split the coil from the plug, because again I moved both. So now we know 100% it's ignition related. So I'll just move back coil 3 from cylinder 1 back to 3, and then 1 back to 1. And I didn't bolt them in, didn't need to for right now, for the testing. I'll get you a shot of the spark plugs. Look like they are wore out, gap wise. But let's move the coil first. So here's 3, you can tell, hopefully, not sure, number 3 is written on it. We'll go back to cylinder 3. I didn't think this was going to be this, let's call it simple. Every once in a while, you get lucky. I was fearing that I was going to have to go deep diving with this Multiair system like I have in the past. So they are now swapped. Coils are back to where they were originally. Let's see what this picture looks like. Alright, so final determining factor of coil or plug. And we have found it. The low trace is back to cylinder 3. So it is a coil issue, which most of you out there probably could have already guessed based off of our primary waveform. Just basically almost looks shorted. We're having nothing, and you know, I'm not the best for ignition waveform breakdown, but I know enough to do enough to make sure I make the right call. So with that, this one's an easy one. So this is the plug that came out of cylinder 3. As you can tell, that gap there looks pretty wore out. Kind of looks, it's called excessive. But true fault is a bad coil. But this guy's going to get all 4 coils because all 4 spark plugs, because the plug from number 1 pretty much looked the same. I guess the only thing about it is that they are a good brand and not some not so good brand, let's call it. So yeah, just wanted to get you a shot of these spark plugs. Alright, there we go. Quick, simple, easy. Probably could have, well, not probably, I know that this couldn't have been done with Swaptronics. Move coils around. It is a 4-cylinder. They're all facing at you. 110mm bolt, quick and easy. Could have done that. Decided to pick up the camera in case this turned into something more involved, being that this is a Multiair system engine. Luckily, no one has to deal with that for this particular situation, and it's simply just a bad coil, or what we're calling to be simply a bad coil. It could have potentially been working too hard if that gap on the plugs is just way too big. So, who knows at this point, but we will get this rectified the best way that we can and get this customer going. So, hopefully it was enough of informative information for you guys to pick something up. Other than that, thank you for watching, and that's it on this one.